Ask me anything. Every once in a while, I do a session where people that follow my work can ask me anything. So instead of paying me a coaching or consulting fee, you can ask me live right over here. And hey, Gino. So whenever I do these Ask Me Anything sessions, you can ask me anything around your mindset, your skill set, your challenges, your opportunities. It doesn't matter what it's about. I'll answer it as much in as much detail as possible. Let me know where you're from. Let me know where you're from. So just ask your question right in the chat. And just so you know, I'm streaming on Instagram. I'm streaming on about 5 different Facebook channels right now, including my Facebook fan page. Hey, Steph Roberts, tell me where you are from, and let's get some Q&As. So the Evelyn, I think, the Evelons. How do you keep going when you hit tough times? Hi, Shelly. Hi, Yannibel. So I'm doing a Q&A session today. So how do you keep going when you hit tough times? Everybody hits tough times. The question that you ask yourself is, what happens if you don't keep going when you hit tough times? There's usually one thing that you're rest assured of, right? And that is you fail. You don't achieve what it is that you want. So, every single person who achieves success, every single one has challenges at one time or another financially, in their business, in their career, in their relationship, in their finances, every single person. But the person who dusts themselves off, and gets back on, the path to the success that they want to achieve, those are the ones who end up winning. That's the little extra in extraordinary. So that's how you do it. I mean, that's how you do it. You can't be a quitter. You can't just be a quitter. You have to learn how to fail and move forward. You have to learn how to get through tough times, because that's what really builds your character. So that's how you do it. I'm going to go over to Facebook and say, and this could be a question on mindset, a question on skill set, any questions that you want, I'm going to be answering. So Isaiah says, how would you overcome limiting beliefs, and what empowering beliefs would you instill to yourself? So Isaiah, how would you overcome a limiting belief? I'll answer that question. For anybody here have limiting beliefs, a belief that limits you? My first question for you is, were you born with that limiting belief? I'm too young, I'm too old, I'm not skilled enough, not smart enough, not worthy enough. These are all beliefs that can limit us. Were you born with any beliefs? No. A belief in the brain is nothing more than a reinforced pattern with references or experience to back it up. So one technique that I teach all of my clients is write down a limiting belief that you have, whatever it is, and then rewrite it and say, in the past, I used to believe, and write it down. And they go, and now I'm choosing to believe, and write down what you want to believe. Now ask yourself this question. Are your beliefs, the ones you currently have, the truth? Are your current beliefs the truth? And if you think for a moment, you say, my beliefs aren't the truth. They're my truth, but they're not the truth, right? So ask yourself a question. Can I change my beliefs to more constructive, empowering, positive ones? Of course you can. Now, changing it requires the same level of competency as, let's say, building a muscle, right? If you want to build your muscle, you have to exercise, right? You don't build a muscle in a day or a week. You can build a little bit of a muscle in a week, but if you think about, you're building your muscle through spaced repetition and tension. What about building your neuromuscles? What if we considered our beliefs neuromuscles? And how do we take our weak neuromuscles and replace them with stronger, reinforced, powerful beliefs? Well, through spaced repetition. All right. So that was for Isaiah. Does that make sense? And I think many of you know, and I know many of you have already registered since I've announced it for 2 weeks. We have an event on Saturday on how to rewire your brain for unstoppable success. How many of you are already coming? I know we have, I think 65,000 people have already registered to download or to sign up for it. And so if you want to sign up, it's this Saturday. It'll be 3 or 4 hours of inner sizing. If you go to my bio on Instagram, there'll be a free link there. You can follow the link, sign up, share it with your friends. And on Facebook, we're going to give you the link. So then when we're looking at reinforcing a disempowering belief, it's spaced repetition, right? And repetition is what creates and reinforces neural patterns. If you practice perfectly, then you develop perfect patterns, and then they move from conscious to subconscious patterns. Hey, Billy, Josie, nice to see you here, buddy. Look forward to seeing you on Saturday, right? So take a look. It's a free event. It's 3 or 4 hours of training with me. I'll have some special guests that will blow your mind, world-renowned brain experts as well. Okay, let me go to Instagram, going between Facebook here and Instagram there. All right. Shannon, I'm glad you signed up. And Billy, Josie, I'm glad you signed up also. Rewire your brain for unstoppable success. Okay, let's see if I can go to some more questions here. I just gave you the link to register, so I'm just going to see if I can get some of your questions. All right, and again, if you just join, I'm answering any question you want. Many of you know my hourly fee is $10,000 an hour. You don't have to spend that right now. You just ask me a question. So Joanne says, how do I get clear? How do I get clear? How do I get clear? And then I'm going to answer the next question from Philosopher. How do I stop procrastinating? So let's go to how do I get clear first. Here's what I tell everybody. Sit down on your computer or a piece of paper, which I like to use. I like to write. And I said, I asked myself this question. If I only had a year to live, what would I want to accomplish in these areas? Ready? In these areas. What would I want to accomplish with my health? What would I want to accomplish in my relationship, my career or business, financially? What fun and experiences would I want to have? What would I like to learn? Who would I like to invest time with? What would I like to contribute? And just write it down. Write it down. And you can also say what I absolutely don't want in my life and write down the list of what you don't want. So now you have 2 lists, one of what you absolutely don't want, and then, okay, what you do want. What do you do want? So if you only had a year to live, what would you want to achieve, accomplish, experience, have, stop, start? And you start creating a list for yourself, and then you ask yourself, what do I want to achieve in the next 90 days? 90 days. 90 days is a lot of time, to get a lot of stuff done. So what do I want to achieve in 90 days? How do I get clear? So I always look at health, wealth, relationship, career, business, fun, experiences, contribution. Those are the 8 areas that I set my goals on to be clear. Now, when you have a lot of choices, then narrow down the choices. If I can only choose one for now, which one would that be? And let's say, your health or wealth relationship. We all have 100, 200, 300 things we want to do. So I would get clear by writing down all the possibilities and then saying, do I want this or that? Okay, so that's for you. And I think that was Joanne Can Cooks. All right, let me know, Joanne, if that made sense for you. And I'm going to go over to Facebook now. I'm going to answer the question from Facebook. I'm asking everybody to type in your Facebook and let me know if you like this, me answering questions. So the Philosopher, you said, how do you stop procrastinating? Let me ask you all a question. Would you agree that when we procrastination, the act of procrastinating, not doing what you need to do, that's being caused by something, right? Like when I procrastinate, there should be a question we ask ourselves is, why do I procrastinate? Like, why do I procrastinate? Can anybody come up with ideas? Why might I procrastinate? Like, let's go beneath the surface. I like going deeper, and especially understand the neuromechanics of why I procrastinate. Because procrastination, everybody does it, but there are three main reasons why we procrastinate. Can anybody give me some of the reasons why we might procrastinate? So Annie says fear. How many of you agree that it could be fear? I might be afraid of failing, so I don't take the action. I might be afraid of disappointing myself or others. I might be afraid that I'll be ashamed or judged or ridiculed, or rejected, so I'm not going to do it. So fear, and by the way, fear is one of the greatest thief of our goals and dreams. Now, fear is a circuit in our brain, right? The fear circuit gets activated. What do we know about the fear circuit when that's activated? It activates the fight, flight, or freeze response. Fight, flight, or freeze. Fight, flight, run away, or freeze and don't do anything. So fear could be one of the reasons. So I might be afraid of failing or succeeding or disappointing or being embarrassed, shamed, ridiculed, judged, rejected, unloved, etc. There's 50 different types of fears that have, that can't hold us back. But what about arousal? Oh, some of you are like, what? Arousal? Arousal? How could arousal cause procrastination? Well, according to some of the latest brain research, for some people, when they wait and wait and wait and wait and wait till the last minute, it actually activates adrenaline and dopamine. Adrenaline is that stress hormone. Dopamine is the reward hormone, but most people don't know this. Pay attention to this one. Some people think that the dopamine neurochemical is a reward neurochemical. It is a little bit, but it's more of an anticipatory neurochemical. All the research that's been done, for example, on gamblers who, let's say, are in Las Vegas, the greatest amount of dopamine that's released in their brain is not when they win. It's when they pull on, let's say, the slot machine, or they're waiting for the cards, to be dealt, that they feel the most amount of reward. So the adrenaline, the stress of the adrenaline of a timeline that needs to be done, along with the anticipation of it. So now we have fear. Now we have arousal. And then the third one, anybody guess the third one? Anybody guess the third one? Anybody guess the third one? Third one is self-image. Self-image, self-worth, or self-esteem, one of those three. When my self-image doesn't see or doesn't believe or doesn't feel that I am either worthy of the result that I am about to achieve, we will procrastinate. So I don't feel worthy, I don't feel good enough, smart enough, deserving enough of the achievement of that thing that we want, then we will not take action. Those are the three things for procrastination. So that means we need to know, how do we react? Why do we get that procrastination circuit activated? And then we have to have countermeasures around self-esteem, emotional regulation, and behavioral changes with cognitive behavior therapy or cognitive behavior techniques to overcome those. And Simcha Erman, yes, let's say, a prayer for what's happening in the Middle East right now. I was born, many of you know, in Israel, and as a little boy, I remember what it was like when the sirens went off, and I had to run into the bunkers. What's happening right now is terrorism at its very, very, very highest, with atrocities that we haven't even begun to really understand and hear. So lots of prayers to my brothers and sisters in Israel. And I do have to say, there are a lot of victims as well on the Palestinian side as a result of an extreme terrorist group, possibly to Hamas, Hezbollah as well. So there are victims on both sides, just to be clear. So for the innocent victims, my prayers and thoughts go to them and their families. I have tons of aunts, uncles, cousins, kids that still live there. So please say some prayers to all of our brothers and sisters there as well. And hi, Ria. All right, so let's go to another question. And Emir, yes, political issues result in innocent people dying, being slaughtered. It's a whenever terrorism is in the air, nobody wins. So please, lots of prayers. Donate where you can. Support somebody in any way that you can. Nobody wins in war. Period. Nobody wins in war. All right, let's. I did answer that. That was a question. So thanks, Simcha. Prayers for everyone. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to some more questions. All right. So let's see who's got a question here. I think I answered philosopher over there. All right. Let's see if I can take who's got a question here in Instagram. Hey, Jen. Nice to see you here. By the way, which one are you if you procrastinate? Is it arousal? You like waiting to the last minute, that pressure build up? Is it self-esteem related, or is it self-esteem or self-worth, or is it fear? Which one holds you back? Hey, Emick, nice to see you. Who's got a question here? Let me see. So Allison says, how do we get past fear when it stagnates us? Right? How do we get past fear when it stagnates us? Well, fear... I want you to just think for just a moment. Give me a second, right? So we have my famous plastic brain. As you know, we have the vagus nerve that runs, from the back of the top of the spinal column down your spinal column, down to your abdomen, and that's the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is comprised of the sympathetic part of the nervous system, which is the fight, flight, freeze circuit, or the parasympathetic, the calm to respond circuit. So is fear good for you? Is fear good for me? Like the circuit of fear, why does it exist? Like, I don't know what you believe about our creator. I don't know what you call it, whether you call it God or something else, but somehow this miraculous sentient being, right, was created with 9 systems: cardiovascular system, endocrine system, nervous system, digestive system. 9 systems work synergistically together. And what is the number one priority of the human brain? Like, what's the number one priority of the human brain? Like, what's the number one priority of the human brain? Anybody know? Like, number one, there is a number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. I'm going to give you a couple of them right now. So to protect us, Allison, how specifically? Survival. There you go, Allison. So would you all agree that the number 1 priority of the human brain that developed in 3 layers, right? 3 layers, the instinctual, emotional, and neocortex logical, right? So this beautiful, cacophony, symphony called a human, the number 1 priority is security and safety, survival. The number 2 priority is avoidance of what? Avoidance of what? Number 2, security, right? Safety, security, survival. Number 2, what's number 2? Allison, what's number 2? So to move us away, pay attention to what I'm about to say, to quickly move us away from real or imagined pain or discomfort. To move us away from real or imagined pain or discomfort. So is the fear part of the brain, the amygdala, the emotional control part of the brain, is it a highly sensitive circuit, survival, security, safety first, avoidance of real or imagined pain or discomfort? Is it a highly sensitive circuit that turns on? Yes or yes? Hi, Lori. Right? Yes or yes? It's highly sensitive. So when our brain perceives that anything or anyone could, not will, could cause us any pain or discomfort, or can cause us to, all right, lose our life, lose our money, be in pain, or to challenges our security, it triggers, okay, the pain, I'm sorry, the fear circuit. The sympathetic nervous system is that circuit. So when that happens, and the automatic reaction in a millisecond is fight it. Saber-tooth tiger, fight it. Your life is on the line. Freeze, don't do anything, stay in your comfort zone, or run away. Like, just go do something else, distraction. That's how the automatic reaction is for 99% of the people. 1% or less than 1% faint. Fight, flight, freeze, or actually people faint. When there's too much of the cortisol in their bloodstream, they faint. It actually shuts down their system. So would it be accurate to say that the emotion of fear is perfect? But what is triggering the emotion called fear, which shuts down, okay, the motivational circuit, it shuts down, okay, in a lot of cases, all right, the behavioral circuit to take the action that you want for a lot of people, then is fear the perpetrator or enemy, or is it a lack of awareness and emotional regulation skill? Can you learn to feel fear and take action anyway? Lori Joyce, firefighter, can you learn how to feel fear and do it anyway? Yes. Right? Can you learn, okay, how to have enormous amounts of fear and still take action? Yeah, of course you can. Now, is it something that you can train for? Can you train for awareness? Can you train to be more aware of your thoughts, emotions, feelings, sensations, behavior? Can you train yourself for that? I'm seeing the answers here and here. Of course, you can train yourself to do that. But in the absence of the right training, you default to your automatic reactions. By the way, we will be doing training on Saturday, this Saturday, October 14th at 9 o'clock for free for about 3 hours. I'm going to be training people how to inner size, how to strengthen your core neuromuscles. I'll be doing it for free. And you can register on my link. If you go to the Instagram link, my bio, Rewire Your Brain for Unstoppable Success. We'll do about 3 hours of training for health, for wealth, for mental and emotional control, for self-esteem, self-worth, for empowering beliefs. We're going to be doing probably 5 or 6 different inner size training sessions. I'll be teaching. I've got some experts that I'll be sharing with you as well. So sign up, share it with your friend. Like I mentioned earlier, last year we did an event like this. We had over 50,000 people register. And so we already put the link for you, Christina, right above, if you take a look at that. And so go to my bio if you like on Instagram or on Facebook on the different channels that we're on right now. You'll see it in the link. It's this Saturday at 9 o'clock Pacific time, 12 o'clock New York, 5 o'clock London, and it's free. I can't do better than free like today. Aaliyah, yes, it's a new training. Brand new training, never before done. All right. And we may charge for the training later, but right now it's free. It's part of our, this is mental health month also. So anybody that might be suffering from stress, anxiety, worry, depression, traumas, you want to be there, because we will be emphasizing to show you some stuff. I'll be teaching something called the 4R process. That's a game changer to help you have more mental and emotional control. And like I said, in a lot of cases, the skill set. If you don't have the skills, then you're a victim of your ignorance, which is just not knowing. All right. Happy World Mental Health Day today, 10/10. You got it. Okay, so let me go to some more questions. Anybody on Instagram have a question? Type it into the chat. I'll take a question. Hey there, Australia, you just need to do a little research. Just Google what is 9 o'clock Pacific. All right, so let's just see. I'm going to go to the Montreal Realtor joined. Hey, Montreal Realtor, just got back from Montreal last night. Hey, Shervin, nice to see you. Nevin, nice to see you here. All right, who's got a question on? I don't know what IFS is. Kuroshim, so IFS, I don't know. Shannon asks, how do I overcome mindset barriers, mental blocks? What kind of mental blocks, Shannon? Shannon says, how do you overcome mental blocks? A lot of great research, Jen, on microdosing. So I've not done it, but I've got a lot of friends who have. Is numerology a real science, Mustafa? Not according to the research either. Overwhelm. So anybody here get overwhelmed? Overwhelm. Shannon asks, mental block of overwhelm. Now, Shannon, you need to let me know if that's how you're feeling, because then I'll have to have a private call with you. All right. So anybody here ever feel overwhelmed? Overwhelmed all the time. Tony, Lori, Shelley. All right. All right. Yeah. So what is overwhelm? Here's how I like to describe overwhelm. Imagine that this is your mind, not your brain, your mind. Your brain processes 400 billion bits of information per second. So you can't really, overwhelm it. But there's a big difference between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. How many of you agree that there's a conscious mind, right? And you can choose your goals with your conscious mind, but there's a subconscious mind, that is processing, at lightning speeds, way faster than your conscious mind. Would you agree? Yes or yes? All right. Would you agree? Okay. So in the conscious mind, when we talk about overwhelmed, if I pour more water in here, right? If I take my little, and I just pour water, and I keep pouring water and keep pouring water and keep pouring water, it's going to overflow, right? It'll overflow. It'll be like the glass will be overwhelmed. It'll overflow. But what if I got a bigger glass? Then I could keep pouring more water in there. But let me ask you a question. When we're feeling overwhelmed, the overwhelm is a feeling, right? Overwhelm is a feeling. What causes feelings? What causes feelings? Like, what causes a feeling? What is a feeling? If overwhelm is a feeling, what causes your feelings? Emotions happen in the subconscious mind automatically. They release neurochemicals into your bloodstream. And what is happening through your body, the sensations, right, as a result of those neurochemicals is called a feeling. So when we say I am overwhelmed, I am describing this feeling in my body that is a stress situation. Agree so far? I want you to understand when I teach and when I talk about stuff, I want to understand cause. So something's going on in my brain that's releasing a neurochemical that I say I feel overwhelmed. Now, let me tell you what causes it. In your brain, you have what is known as your short-term memory. And you have long-term memory, right? I mean, everybody knows this, so I'm not telling you anything new. I get it. But when you use short-term memory, we say, well, I've got to get the kids. I've got to create this. I've got this project at work and this project at work, and I need to work out, and I got to go grocery shopping, and I've got to do that, and I got to do that, and then I need to do that, and oh my God, I got 4 things. What are we doing? What are we doing in our conscious part of our brain? We are overwhelming it with too many things at the same time. Now, pay attention to what I'm about to say. Your short-term memory, this one part of your brain, can handle a maximum of 7 items. How many? 7. Not 10. 8 overwhelms it. 9 overwhelms it. 10 overwhelms it. 15, you're a freaking mess. So what are you supposed to do? Because we all have these things we need to do for health, wealth, relationship, career, business, fun, experiences, contribution, kids, husband, wife, uncles, aunts, this and that that's happening around. Oh my God, there's so many things. The issue is not overwhelm. Overwhelm is the effect of a shitty process. When I hear people saying I'm overwhelmed, they don't have a process for prioritization. Now, what if you took a sheet of paper again or your computer and say, here's all the things I need to do for myself today or this week. Here's all the things that I need to do, okay, for work. There's all the things I need to do for my wife, my husband, my kid. Write out all the things you need to do. And then say, out of these 20 or 30 things, which 3 are the most important right now? Which 3 are the most important right now? Write down this one, and this one. Great. When I finish these 3, what are the next 3 or 4? This one, and this one. Great. Now I have 7. Don't touch anything else until you've done those 7. So here is the law. Here's the rule. You focus on the critical few instead of the urgent, important, or many. Let me repeat. You focus on the critical few first instead of the urgent, important, or needed. Why? Because if you are going to be focusing on more than 5 to 7, then guess what's going to happen? You're going to feel overwhelmed. But if you know that there is a list of the top 7, you get those done. And that's manageable. Manageable. So now you don't have to be overwhelmed. Get a better process. You use your brain better. Don't use your brain better, then suffer. Like, I can't help you then. You don't want to learn a new skill. You don't want to upgrade your process. Too bad. Your brain doesn't care. But in the absence of a proper process, okay, there is the release of the neurochemicals associated with, okay, the thought pattern or how you're thinking or not thinking. Does that make sense? For those who just joined, we've been answering a whole bunch of questions for the last 35 minutes. And I've also invited everybody. You're welcome, Shannon. Great question. I've also invited you all to a free 3 to 4 hour training on Saturday. The link is in my bio. It's called Rewire Your Brain for Unstoppable Success. And if you like answers like this, then I will be teaching you how to rewire your brain for unstoppable success with great processes, great systems. We'll be doing live training together as a group. We anticipate we're going to have 50,000 people on this event. It's a free event I do for 3 or 4 hours. And if you want to know the neuroscience-based ways to get rid of limiting beliefs, stop your low self-image or self-worth or not deserving enough, you want to get rid of that. If you want to feel unstoppable, if you want to shatter limitations, you want to get rid of obstacles, mental and emotional obstacles. If you suffer from any mental health challenges like stress, overwhelm, traumas, anger, fear, disempowering rumination, then join us. The link will be on top by my bio. All right, by my bio is the link, and on Facebook I'll put it on here for you as well. I got about 5 more minutes. I'm going to take maybe 10 more minutes. I'm going to take 2 more questions. All right. So this is the event of the year, that I can promise you, and I'm going to have a bunch of phenomenal brain experts share. Yes, today's Mental Health Day. We talked about that before. Hello from Ireland. Hello from. By the way, tell me where you're from. Let me know where you're from. I love to see where you're from. Many of you know I live in San Diego. Thanks, Bruna. Appreciate that. What's my favorite color? Purple. Purple. Purple's my favorite color. Hi, Carrie. Nice to see you. Look forward to seeing you on Saturday. All right. So you have friends and family joining, Shannon. That's great. Yeah, the event will be amazing. It'll be interactive with Q&A as well, where we can. There'll be a lot of learning from me, obviously. We will be doing inner sizes, strengthening your core neural muscles. Hello there from Morocco. Hey, Mustafa. My father was from Casablanca. All righty. Perth, Australia. Love Perth. It's very similar to San Diego. Hey, the coach, JC. Jamaica. Everything Ire. Awesome. Germany, V Gates. Sehr gut. All right. M. Fanello, your question above. M. Fanello, South Africa. Where in South Africa? M. Famello. Let me just see. M. Famello, just put your question in again so I could see it. Hey, Bruna from Budapest. Servus. Chile, living in Vancouver, Florida, Sydney. We got an international crowd. Atlanta, Georgia, Mommy Gammy. Philippines. Auckland, New Zealand, one of my favorite places in the world. Love it, love it, love it. Hey, Laura. Your husband's from Rabat. So aloha from Hawaii. San Antonio, Argentina. Gotta love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, let's see. What up, Paris? Bonsoir, après ça fait tard à Paris. Texas, we're in Texas. All right, so where is the question? M. Fanello, I want to ask, is there any strategy to share with us about how to do visualizations the correct way and how to stop the voice that keeps blocking you from achieving visualization? Let's just see. Okay. How to do visualization the correct way? Well, there is no correct way. But when I visualize, there's a variety of different ways that you can visualize. But there's also ways you can practice activating what's known as the visual cortex. Like when you and I see, right, when light enters into our eyes, it actually activates, okay, an image in the back of your head. It's called the occipital lobe. That's where the images are. So you can practice, number one, with simple activation of memories that you already have. So for example, if you want to activate your visual cortex, close your eyes and imagine a lemon, a bright yellow lemon, and then go to your, visual cortex and visualize an apple, like a red apple, maybe an elephant or a cat or your child or somebody that you love. Now, a lot of people say that they can't visualize, and what they really are saying is I haven't activated, okay, my visual cortex. So they say I haven't activated my visual cortex. How many of you, if I asked you to close your eyes, you could actually see a red apple? Could you see a red apple? Can you see a red apple? Right? Can you see a red apple? Let me know. Can you switch over from a red apple to a yellow lemon? All right. Most people can see it, right? There you go, red apple. So some people can't. There's something called aphantasia. not Fantasia, but aphantasia, a small percentage of the world's population cannot visualize. They cannot visualize. Okay. So that means that they can't activate that occipital lobe as well. But let me ask you a question. When I say the word, when I ask you to visualize the word dog, does the image in your mind, okay, pull up, an image of a dog or the words D-O-G? For some people, they see words, not images. But then if I ask you to visualize for just a moment a mad dog barking at you, a mad dog barking at you. Can you see a mad dog barking at you? Can you feel viscerally what a mad dog barking at you on a leash would be like? Right? And Shannon, can you please remove the person who's using my image on Facebook, please? So can you imagine and feel a mad dog on a leash barking at you if you're walking along the street? So if you can feel it, your brain is activating those neurons just with the words that I'm saying, no differently, okay, than if I say to you, for some of you, I want you to imagine that right now, wherever you are, there is a 10-foot or 3-meter snake, this thick, a Burmese python that's slithering towards you and starts to wrap itself around your leg and starts to squeeze you. How many of you could feel that just as I used my words? Okay? How many of you could feel that just because I used my words? Now, some of you are emotionally shut down also. And so some of you are already responding, eek, oh my God, no, I don't want that snake. What about a spider crawling up your arms, coming up to your ear and your face? Can you feel that? So you can imagine but not feel it. Now, let me ask you a question. For those of you who are having a hard time feeling it, if I paid you $1 million to pretend you were angry, okay? If I paid you $1 million, okay, to pretend you were angry, could you pretend you were angry? And to Melarina says, I was scared, but I didn't feel it. Being scared is a feeling, right? So how many of you could pretend you're happy or pretend you're mad or pretend you're angry or pretend you're very, very sad? How many of you could pretend, if I gave you $1 million, could you pretend a feeling? What do you think Hollywood actors and actresses get paid an enormous amount of money to do? They pretend, right? They pretend an emotion. So some of you have really, really well developed, okay, your emotional range and your feeling range. And you could command on it. You go, I can't believe you did that, you jerk. I was just kidding. I'm so sorry. I'm really so sorry. That made me sad doing that. You could practice it, right? You don't have to fake it. You practice because practice is what makes permanent. So some of you are emotionally closed because you're afraid of feeling, because you're worried the feeling's going to last too long and you don't know how to release the feeling that you are emotionally detached. And you have very, very narrow emotional range, not because you can't, you've shut down because you have never been taught that feelings and emotions are okay. And you can manage them so that they don't manage and control you. Does that make sense? So let's not confuse I can't with I have not or do not allow myself to, because I am worried that it may last and I can't handle it. Does this make sense? Everybody has emotions. Everybody has, I mean, everybody, 99.9% of people have feelings, but it's the absence of the skill of how to recognize, reframe, release, and retrain them that we become victims of the limitations. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Yes, Claudia, stop the madness. Yes, yes, yes. All right. All right. So I've been on for about 45 minutes. I've been answering a bunch of questions. Do you like these Q&A sessions? I'm thinking about doing more of them. I do them with our coaching clients all the time, and they love it. And maybe we can get some of you on with me live also. So listen, I've got to go and have a little bit of a workout. But for those of you on Facebook or on Instagram, if you like this kind of training, but we're actually going to do some experiential training. I have an event on Saturday. It's free. It's called Rewire Your Brain for Unstoppable Success in Health, Wealth, Relationships, Career, Business, Finances. And if you want to join me, if you go to Instagram to my bio, you'll see a link for Rewire Your Brain. Sign up, share it with friends. We will have over 50,000 people registered for the event. I know that we started promoting it about 10 days ago. And on Instagram, it's in my bio, and on Facebook, we're putting the link for you in the chat. Please feel free to share it. And it'll be 9 o'clock Pacific time, 12 o'clock New York, 5 o'clock London. And we'll have a little bit of fun. Will repetition of words create your reality? Sephra, what do you mean create your reality? Like, what do you mean will repetition of words create your reality? What do you mean by your reality? We create our own reality. Reality doesn't exist outside of us, okay? So words activate electrical and neurochemical activity, right? So our words create the emotions. Our emotions determine whether, okay, we will take action or not. Will repeating affirmations create your reality? Nope, they will not create your reality. Repeating affirmations will create, an affirmation is affirming in one's mind something, but what we want to do is affirm, emotionalize, and then take the action necessary to reinforce what it is that we are affirming. All right. So when we're looking to create things on this beautiful blue planet, we need to tap into the field of all possibilities. We want to manage our emotions, manage our mindset, but also get our bodies to move towards that which we seek. All right. All right, everyone, have an awesome day, evening, afternoon. I appreciate you joining me, and I'll see many of you on Saturday. I might go on live again in a day or two. All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.